This is the Dallas Cowboys Report. I am your host, Tom Downey, and on today's video, a 7-round Cowboys mock draft. Now, I do have the projected comp picks in there. Those could and frankly probably will change with the new coaching rules, but just keep that in mind as we go through the 7-round mock draft. Before we get to pick number 10, the first rounder for the Dallas Cowboys, the previous 5 picks that were made in this simulation that I ran. Penei Sewell goes number 5, Devontae Smith goes number 6, Zach Wilson goes 7, Trey Lance 8, Patrick Surtain goes off the board at number 9. So 2 of your possible targets there, Penei Sewell, which is pretty unlikely, and then Patrick Surtain also off the board. So at number 10, I went with Caleb Farley, my guy, the cornerback from Virginia Tech. And I understand that there is some very justifiable and legitimate concerns about a corner who has not played corner for all that long, who opted out of the 2020 season. But because he opted out, there's actually a chance he's there for you at pick number 10. And look at his production. Frankly, he had one bad game, like his second or third game in his college career against the guy we now know, Travis Fulgham, gave him a tough time. Since then, 12 pass breakups, 4 interceptions last year. And I think the most important reason why, in general, I like Farley is that the way I value corners is actually very similar to what Dan Quinn likes in his corners. If in a dream world, my corner is long, he's very athletic, he can turn and run and recover, and he's got great ball skills. Take a drink for the ball skills. That's Caleb Farley to a T. And I already got one good corner with ball skills in Trevon Diggs, who isn't really a burner. I don't know if I want to go with 2 not really a burner cornerbacks in Diggs and Patrick Surtain. Farley can fly, man. He's got the size. He's got the athletic ability. Provided he's kept up and stayed on the right course and done all the training things that I assume he's doing, I will take that risk. And I will go with the opt-out guy at number 10 and help solidify myself at corner, in theory, for the next few years. All right, some others on the board in round 1 I wanted to mention, I at least consider, or maybe a trade down. Kyle Pitts, Kwity Paye was there. Micah Parsons was on the board. I don't really want him, though. Rashawn Slater, the OT. J.C. Horn was still there, but that's probably a bit later. And then Jeremiah Owusu-Koramoah, the linebacker from Notre Dame as well. So let me know who you want to draft at number 10. You guys can play GM this time around. You can still throw in Patrick Surtain since it's just who you want, even though he wasn't there for me. This will be the pinned comment on today's video. So if you get that ad break here, help me feed my family, scroll on down, and let me know. All right, before we get to my round 2 pick, I was thinking between the guy I selected and some of these guys here. Levi on Wuzurike out of Washington. Jalen Phillips, I like him. Ali McNeil, I don't love him in round 2, but he does really help your defensive tackle need from NC State. Liam Eichenberg, if you're terrified about La'el Collins and or Tyron Smith. Baron Browning, local kid from Ohio State. But in the end, I decided to do what I would do and probably what the Cowboys would not do. Asante Samuel Jr. Yes, that's the son of Asante Samuel. Look, he's undersized, but he's a ball hawk, and I know he doesn't fit the Cowboys prototypes because he's not that long and he's not that big overall. But he's a good football player, man. 4 interceptions, 20 pass breakups over the past 2 years. He was targeted 32 times this year. That was it. He either picked off or broke up 9 of those. So about 28% of the time, he's breaking up a pass that you're throwing his way. That's really impressive. So I know he doesn't have great size. And you might want to move him inside to nickel. And I'm okay with that because you run nickel 70% of the time anyway. So I said I'm going to ignore the Cowboys' typical guidelines, and I'm going to take the guy I want. Give me Asante Samuel Jr. Give me that dynamic nickel corner, or give me some outside corner as well. And now all of a sudden, I got Caleb Farley, I got Trevon Diggs, I got Asante Samuel, and I got Anthony Brown as my number 4. I fixed the cornerback spot for the Cowboys. Everyone, you are welcome. Now, if you want to thank me again by making some money for yourself, do it with BetUS. Chatsports.com/bet. The promo code is Cowboys120. 25. When you put down at least $100, that gets you a 125% deposit bonus. And once you guys place a bet, a Dak Prescott jersey as well. If you have questions or if you want to claim that, email us, cowboys@chatsports.com. That is cowboys@chatsports.com. Is only available for new BetUS customers, and just to help everything process properly, you do have to place a bet. So here are some suggestions on what to bet on. How about the Super Bowl, right? Chiefs over the Bucks. The over in that game right now set at 56 points because life is too short to bet the under. Under 5.5 Joe Biden mentions. I'll take the minus 500 action on that. And I think Patriots get mentioned at least twice. Plus 120 on that one. Just some fun little bets there. You can place those at chatsports.com/bet. All right, round 3 now. The previous 4 picks kind of broke my heart. Pete Warner, linebacker OSU, off the board. Davion Nixon from Iowa. He was going to be the pick. Chaz Surratt, the linebacker, former quarterback at UNC. And then on Wuzurike as well from Washington. So 4 guys I would have considered. Instead, I went with Jabril Cox, the linebacker from LSU. Just a 1-year player for the Tigers. Was at North Dakota State. I don't think Jabril Cox is an elite run stopper, but he can cover. 3 interceptions, 5 pass breakups. I think he's someone that isn't going to get destroyed by tight ends and isn't going to get roasted by backs coming out of the backfield. And if you're going to have a deficiency in one area, which most players do, especially day 2 guys, I would rather you be able to cover and we build up your run stopping than you're a great run stopper, but you just can't cover. He's a great athlete. We'll see how he fares fully at the Senior Bowl this week, as that's still ongoing right now. But him in round 3, I like the idea of a day 2 linebacker. I think you need one. I think the value's pretty good player-wise, and you're not over-investing in a position where, yes, you like to have somebody, but they become a little bit close to the running backs of the defense. So that's just my mindset. All right, trade question now. Over or under 2.5 draft trades pulled off by the Cowboys. We are approximately 1 month away from getting the yearly Jerry Jones wants to make a splash report. Happens every single year. So give me the over-under here. 2.5 draft trades, up or down. Let me know what you guys think there. It's O for over. There's going to be at least 3, or U for under. It's going to be that amount of trades come draft weekend for the Cowboys. All right, my compensatory round 3 pick. Thanks, Byron Jones. I'll gamble a bit here. Give me Andre Cisco, the safety from Syracuse. If you are looking for a true single-high free safety that can play cover 1 and can play cover 3 for you, look no further than Andre Cisco. 14 pass breakups and 13 interceptions in 24 games. Now, yes, there are some issues on film in the sense that he is a playmaker both for his defense and sometimes for his offense because he just falls and doesn't read things properly and he's overly aggressive. But if you get an interception every other game, I don't care. Give me that guy on my team. The reason why he's there at almost pick 100 is because he is coming off of a torn ACL. He blew that out in October. We'll see how the rehab goes, and I wonder if the lack of a combine and the standardization of getting all of these medicals is going to be a significant red flag for Cisco. But late day 3, yeah, I'm going to take that gamble. Now, we're doing a mock draft today, and we'll do other mock drafts as well, probably one with some trades. So if you want that, subscribe today. If you're watching on Facebook or wherever, it's youtube.com/CowboysTV. If you're already on YouTube, all you got to do, hit that big red button and subscribe. All right, my first offensive pick in round 4, number 114 overall, James Hudson out of Cincinnati, Michigan legend, a 1-year starter for Cincinnati. So there is some developmental stuff still needed. That's why he's there in round 4 after allowing just 6 hurries in all of 2020. Now, again, level of competition was not as good against Georgia. Then again, Azeez Ojulari is probably going to be a first-round pick. And then he got ejected, which is a big problem there. But Hudson, if you're looking for another developmental guy, if you're keeping Tyron Smith for at least another year, I think Hudson makes some sense. You can still use Brandon Knight for a season as your swing tackle. You can still develop Terrence Steele, and you can have James Hudson on your roster. I don't want to start him right away in year one, but literally 6 hurries was all he had this year. No quarterback hits, no sacks. Helps he had a mobile quarterback in Desmond Ridder, but in round 4, this is the type of guy you gamble on. The real question here is just how big of a need is offensive tackle. Rate it for me on a scale of 1 to 10. 1 being it's not a need at all. What injuries to Tyron and Collins? 10 being you think both those guys are going to be cut. And Tom, you should have taken Rashawn Slater in round 1. Let me know what you guys think. Shaka Toney. The other Penn State edge rusher, by the way, I like him in terms of the upside. He is athletic. He doesn't have great size, but he is still raw. He was productive in 2020. Only 8 games, 7.5 tackles for loss, 5 sacks. I am intrigued by him in round 4. My concern is the lack of size, and he's going to be kind of a boomer bust player in terms of his success, and even from his down-to-down play, he's not that big, and there are plenty of reps of where he just gets washed out. There's a lot of good splash plays too, but way too many moments where he's a liability against the run, and then boom, all of a sudden, he's trying to get after the quarterback, and the tackle takes him out altogether, and you ruin the contain too. So I like the idea there of Shaka Toney. I didn't love the guys on the board. Daz Newsome was there for me. I thought about a Dalen Hayes from Notre Dame, but I wanted to go with the athletic upside for Toney, which I think fits what Dan Quinn could use. Think of him as another option at that Leo edge rusher spot behind Randy Gregory. All right, round 5, Trevon Grimes out of Florida. Most productive season of his career in 2020. As this happened to turn out not on purpose, not on accident, this was the transfer draft class. I took Grimes here, former OSU to Florida, James Hudson, Michigan to Cincinnati, and then Jabril Cox, North Dakota State to LSU. Grimes is still not there yet. The production was decent enough as a secondary option behind Kyle Pitts and Kadarius Toney, both of whom might end up going in round 1. But former 5-star recruit, and I'm looking ahead here. I don't want to invest in a receiver in the top 75, but if there's one on day 3 I like, yeah, because I got Cooper, I got Lamb, I have Gallup for now. My 4 and 5 receivers are pending free agents in some capacity. So, yeah, I don't mind going after Grimes here and basically giving him a redshirt year and letting him develop and then make him your wide receiver 3 on the cheap in 2022. I think that makes some sense for the Dallas Cowboys and for Grimes. But do you guys even want to draft a receiver? Let me know what you guys think here. It's a simple yes or no question. Why? For yes, you want a receiver at some point, even if it's just on day 3, or type in N for it's not really the route I want to go. All right, before we dive into my round 6 pick here, some guys I had on the board. Justin Hilliard, the linebacker from OSU. Joshua Kando, an edge from Florida State. I thought about double dipping at safety. Paris Ford was there. In the end, this came down to 2 different fatties only. Tadaro Slayton from Florida and Kairos Tonga from BYU. And I went with the latter, the big boy out of BYU. The Cowboys need another run stopper. And I wanted to go defensive tackle earlier. I just never found the right spot to pull the trigger. You know, Bobby Brown was on there in round 4, but I wanted to tackle. Davion Nixon had just gone. So because I'm here in round 6, I'm looking for someone who can make a bigger impact. And I think that Tonga, as a 2-down run stopper, could do that for me. You have Antoine Woods. I need an upgrade over Justin Hamilton or Eli Anaku. I need someone better than those guys. And Tonga did put up 3.5 sacks here, which I thought was pretty solid. 36 tackles. I like getting his hands up there too, but he fits what I'm looking for. 6'4", 321. You can even add more weight if you want, because 6'4" is pretty big for a defensive tackle. Fatty's only is dead. It's never coming back. But the philosophy behind it still makes some sense. Round 7, I did it for you guys. Sam Ehlinger, the quarterback from Texas. Now, round 7, pick number 122. I'll get that fixed here. I don't know why I put in a 7 there. 222 overall. My bad, guys. Round 7, I went with a potential backup quarterback for the Dallas Cowboys. And even if you bring back Garrett Gilbert, which I'm on board with doing, by the way, you could still upgrade over Ben DiNucci. And I have no problem if every single year you try a 7th-round pick on a quarterback. Because 7th-round picks in reality, the hit rate's so low. Like, you're taking guys that in most cases don't even make your team. So if you want to gamble on the highest upside position, I'm in. I don't think Sam Ehlinger is going to be a starter. I think he's a good dude. I think he can be a nice backup quarterback potentially for you because he's mobile, and I want mobility in my backup quarterback. I could get him to the practice squad if I had to, by the way, or put DiNucci there instead. So in round 7, why not? I'll take the Texas kid. I'll take Ehlinger. He's not a Dak replacement, but he's a fun option for you at the back end of round 7. Last pick, one of my other comp picks here, KJ Britt, the linebacker from Auburn. I was looking at guys like Puka Williams from Kansas, and Daryl Slayton was still there, and Tommy Kramer, and I'm like, whatever. I'll go with KJ Britt, who was limited to just 2 games this past year. 2019, though, was a little bit better. Because Sean Lee's a free agent, because you might move on from Jalen Smith, I think a linebacker depth is a need. So it does make some sense to me to at least consider double-dipping at linebacker late. Maybe KJ Britt can be a special teamer for me. Frankly, that's all I'm looking for in round 7 anyway. Anything bigger than that's not gonna make much sense for me. So I want you guys to grade my mock draft. A, B, C, D, or F. If you weren't paying attention, I'll recap it right now while those grades come in. Caleb Farley, round 1, pick number 10. Asante Samuel from Florida State in round 2. Jabril Cox, the linebacker from LSU in round 3. 2 round 3 picks, the other one being Andre Sisco, the safety from Syracuse. James Hudson, the offensive tackle in round 4 out of Cincinnati. Round 4, my other round 4 pick, Shaka Toney, the edge rusher from Penn State, also elite name. Trevon Grimes goes round 5 for me, the receiver from Florida. Kairos Tonga, a big boy on the interior out of BYU. And Sam Ehlinger, the quarterback, to be a backup in round 7. And then a couple picks later, KJ Britt out of Auburn, just to wrap things up in my 7-round mock draft.